Before we start, please take into account that Arkenforge is a very robust piece of software. The way I use it is in no circumstances the only way to do it. It is far more flexible and allows various techniques to achieve the same goal. Also, in these short clips, I focus on the map-making part of Arkenforge, but it is far more advanced with its own soundscape and encyclopedia models, and many more. I encourage you to experiment with the software yourself as much as you can. Hey, Timur Sol here. In the last video, you've seen how I use the line tool to build long walls that fit exactly the length that I need. Now, I've also built this little thing over here from pre-made walls. Now, why wouldn't I use another tool to do that? We're gonna go into our hand, build options, line, and you see that we have several different things over here. We have the straight line, which we used over here to build the long wall. We have the circle line, which you might have seen in one of the earlier videos, creates a perfect circle. We have the polygon and the freeform. Now, freeform is relatively easy. If you click and drag, you're gonna build yourself a wall exactly how you want it. This is pretty decent, and if you hold Control, it will snap again, and this might make things a little bit more wonky since the asset has to calculate how it bends. If you bend it under 90 degrees, it's gonna look rather crappy, like over here. Now, if you add shadows to it, so lighting tools, shadow, drop shadow on, drop shadow off, it will look even worse. And walls often need shadows to look good. These have actually pre-made shadows. The gradient over here is part of the asset. If I would turn the shadow on over here, it wouldn't make much of a difference, but it does make a difference if you do it over here. Now, this is also a problem with the polygon tool. As much as I love it, it might be problematic to use it to build angles like this. You might need to build yourself different assets. How does the polygon tool work? You put the first spot wherever you want. If you hold your control key, it's gonna snap. If not, no. And you select the next part. Now, the parts can be angled, but if I would like to have a 90 degrees angle, it's gonna try to stretch over here. You see how it works? There are ways to, let's say, mitigate this problem. You could set a few different line points next to each other, really close, and then bend it. And again, a few points really close to next to each other and go down. This does mitigate the problem a bit, but still on the corner you're gonna have some stretched assets and stretched graphics. So if you don't care about how the wall looks from the outside exactly, this is something you can do really fast. And if you have it selected, you can build complicated structures relatively fast without any problem. If you need the asset to look good also on the inside, this might be problematic. Although there's also a way in which you can simply, by clicking and clicking and clicking, make this also a little bit easier. You're not going to build things like this with the straight line tool, and this does look great in certain scenarios. This could be a cavern or a natural structure in some way. What is also very interesting in the polygon tool, if you click it, you're going to see that it consists of points, and this is really something that is very interesting. Now, If I use my shortcut to evoke the manipulation of line points, I can also make these line points a little bit more fine-tuned if I need that. Not much help for this spot over here, although mayhaps you could put even more points in this part to make it look even less shady or wonky. Although if we compare this one to this one over here, well, the difference is rather clear. This is a nice wall. It can be also the inner wall or the outer wall, while this is, well, it's a little bit more handmade.